Hi there, Carl here, and I've been threatening to talk about relationships for a while, so I'm going to talk about one of my favourite books on relationships. And if you're in a relationship and you haven't read the 5 love languages, I encourage you to get through it. I'm going to talk about the basic concepts of it here so you get an idea, but it's an absolutely essential, amazing read and a difference maker when it comes to relationships. So get ready for the class on the 5 love languages. The 4th book I write, I've written 3 books. First book, Happiness. Second book, Optimum Health. Third book, Authentic Success. The 4th book I want to write is on relationships. So it's a topic I'm fascinated with. It's a topic that I think I have a fair idea on. Over 9 years together, myself and Ferry. So I think I have some experience there to talk on. So I'm going to share with you this strategy, and this is a strategy that I use in my own relationship, and I'll talk about it specifically, how it works in my relationship, and I'll talk about other relationships, how there can be a clash as a result. So for those that haven't read the 5 love languages, you're about to learn one of the greatest relationship strategies. And the book's written by a guy called Chapman, who is a marriage counsellor, and he came up with this idea of these 2 principal concepts to it. The first concept is, this is our love tank. Our love tank. And what he was saying was, when our love tank is full, not too much bothers us in a relationship. Imagine the start of a relationship, honeymoon period, feeling loved by your partner, doing lots of things, there's lots of romance, there's lots of chemicals flying, all the rest of it. So the love tank is pretty full. So when the love tank is pretty full, the little stuff doesn't really matter. Oh, that's cute, and we don't worry about it. Relationship goes on and the love tank may sort of go down a little bit. So as a little love tank comes down and it's like, quarter full, those little things that used to be cute, fun, not bothersome, actually grow to be bigger. They actually become things that are bothersome. They actually start sort of niggling, getting under the skin, annoying. But as soon as that love tank fills up again, that all just goes away. The little stuff doesn't matter. The little stuff doesn't matter. If I'm in a relationship and I'm feeling loved by my partner, if she says something offhand or whatever, I'm like, doesn't matter. I let it go. So principle 1, when our love tank is full, when we're feeling loved by our partner, if this is an intimate relationship, if we're feeling that love, then the little stuff doesn't matter. The little stuff doesn't bother us quite so much. Principle 1. Fill your love tank, or help fill the love tank of your partner. But there's a very specific strategic way that Chapman suggests that we fill the love tank of our partners. And it's based on these love languages. And love languages is how we want our love to be expressed to us. Let me write them down, and it might make it a little bit easier to understand. So the first love language is called acts of service. Acts of service. And I'll explain each of these at the end. In fact, no, I'll explain it now. So acts of service is doing something for another person. So it might be an act of service, might be taking the washing out, washing the dirty dishes. It might be picking up some food for that person. It might be helping them out carry something. They feel loved by you because you're doing something for them. The next way we express our love for other people, and particularly in our intimate relationships, might be by giving gifts. We want to show our love, so we buy some perfume for our partner, or we buy a new watch, or some new sunglasses, a new t-shirt, whatever it is. We give gifts to that person to show how much we love them. The next one is physical contact. Physical contact. And this can be anything from the end of the spectrum of having sex. It can just be physical intimacy, physical touch. So we express our love for someone by being physical, whether it's hugs, kisses, little massage, maybe a pinch on the butt as you go past, whatever it is, something along those lines. So we show our love for our partner by physical contact. The next one is quality time. Quality time. Now, quality time means if we express our love for someone, we really listen intently. Quality time is I'm sitting down and I'm 100% engaged. Nothing else matters to me except that person in front of me. And when I'm doing that, that person goes, this guy must love me so much because he's so attentive to me. He just gives me all his attention. He's fully present. Oh, I feel loved. And the last one is words of affirmation. So words of affirmation is like, I love you. You're so beautiful. You're the most gorgeous person that I've ever met in my life. Okay, so this Chapman has come up and said, like, these are the 5 ways that we predominantly show our love for the other person. We either do things for them, we either give them gifts, we either physically, we have physical contact with them, we spend quality time with them, or words of affirmation. But here's the interesting thing. He was saying that we actually want to receive that expression of love in the way we want to receive it. He calls it your primary love language. So he says each of us have a primary way we want someone to express their love to us. For instance, for myself, it's quality time. I want my partner to show quality time. I want my partner to sit down and let's have this deep, intimate conversations. No one else matters. Someone else, their primary love language may be contact. If they don't feel like they're getting touched and this intimacy and this physical touch from their partner, they're feeling that they're not being loved. Acts of service. So someone else can say, oh, I don't feel loved because my partner does nothing for me. They're not doing these things for me. They used to in the honeymoon stage when the love tank was full, but they're no longer doing this stuff for me. So we have a primary way we want someone to express their love to us. And the difference, I say, between the primary love language and the other love languages is significant. For instance, my partner, Ferry, this is her primary love language, acts of service. So it's like this. If I push the button, if I do an act of service for Ferry, she feels loved. So it's worth 20 points. Her second love language might be, say, physical contact. That might be worth 10 points. Quality time might be the next one, 5. Words of affirmation, 2. And gifts, 1. What this means is if I press this button, if I do an act of service, it's automatically worth 20 points. However, if this is one of her lowest love languages, if she doesn't really care about getting gifts, I can give her a gift and it gets me 1 point. Hardly anything. I've got to push the gift button. I've got to give her 20 gifts using my just rough scale here to get the same effect in the love tank as acts of service. Every time I deposit in the acts of service, 20 points go into the love tank. This love tank fills up really fast. If I'm giving gifts, I've got to give so many gifts and there's just a trickle going into the love tank. So one of the most important things we can do is work out within our partner, what is their primary love language. So for Ferry, it's acts of service. So classic example. I'm at home, we're sitting down and we've got the cable TV and the satellite dish there and watching television at night, and it's like a little bit fuzzy because there's a little bit of a branch hanging over the dish, the satellite dish. So it's Ferry, he's asking me, can you cut that down? I'm like, yeah, I'll cut it down tomorrow in the daytime. This went on for a couple of nights, not making any friends myself or not adding to the love tank, me saying, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. So eventually after a couple of nights, and it's like maybe the third night, and Fairy's like, when are you going to do that? I'm like, oh, stuff it. I grab a torch, I grab something to chop the branch down, I go outside, I climb up the tree, I chop this branch down, I come back down again. It's like 3 or 4 minutes. It's not a big job. It's pretty much nothing for me. It's like, takes no energy, effort. I'm like, yeah. And I get back into the house and Fairy's there going, oh, my hero. And I'm like, I'm looking around, who's this hero that she's talking about? The thing was, acts of service. I just pushed that button. And I pushed that button and this love tank just went so full. So then she's feeling loved and this affection that comes to me, which then fills my love tank up. So it's about pushing that button. Here's the challenge. Fairy, acts of service, primary love language. Massy, acts of service, quality time. Massy, acts of service doesn't really mean anything to me. Like, I can take care of myself, and I lived a lot of years by myself. There was times I wasn't in a relationship for like 5, 6, 7 years at a time, so I'm pretty comfortable taking care of myself. I don't need someone to take care of me. I can look after myself. So when someone pushes the acts of service button, it's worth like a 2 or a 3. It's not a big deal to me. So this is what Fairy's most familiar with because she loves receiving it herself. But if she pushes that button for me, when my primary love language is quality time, it's just going to be a little trickle into my love tank. So she does lots of things for me. I said, yeah, that's nice, but I just want you to sit down and talk with me. Fairy's Chinese Indonesian, so she's used to the Chinese community. They're pretty closed up. So she's not used to doing this quality time thing, so she needs to learn it. And she understands the love languages as much as me, so she realises if she wants to fill my love tank up, then she needs to do this quality time thing with me and spend this quality time with me. So you can see how we need to understand this. I look at my parents. Secret here, don't tell them I said this. But for my mother, primary love language is gifts. She loves receiving gifts. For my father, it's physical contact. Now, my father isn't interested in gifts, not interested. Birthdays, not interested in a gift. Don't give me a gift, I'm not interested. So his is completely opposite to my mother. And physical contact, my mother grew up in not a great upbringing and that sort of thing. So this idea of physical contact, there's not a lot of physical contact in their family. So here's two people with completely opposed primary love languages. So, my mum will think that she's not being loved because Dad doesn't give her gifts. My dad's thinking Mum doesn't love her because she doesn't cuddle him enough or, hold him enough or give him a kiss enough or something like that. So it's about understanding these things. When we learn what the primary love language is of our partner, we've got an incredible ability to make a difference in them feeling loved. And when our partner feels loved, then the relationship can bloom and flourish so easily. So again, for me, this is one of the most effective and powerful relationship tools and relationship strategies that I've come across in my years of looking around. And it certainly has made a huge difference to my relationship. So for those of you who haven't read this book, I strongly encourage you to read the book, particularly if you're in a relationship. It's 5 Love Languages too. Gary Chapman has now written a book called The 5 Love Languages for Children, I think it's called, but looking at relationships between parents and children. So applying the same sort of thing for children. So understanding which is their button that you need to push and pushing that button. You can do a search in Google, 5 Love Languages. I think it's 5lovelanguages.com. Go in there, and there's actually a test you can do to determine what your primary love language is. Once you work out that primary love language, it's about expressing that to your partner. Having your partner do the exercise to establish what their primary love language is. And then, this is, relationship 101, then do the work, roll the sleeves up. Even though, this isn't my thing, I make sure that I do it. It might be when I'm out and I'm at the practice and I'm finished here and I'm ready to go back home again and I send a message or give a call to Fairy and say, hey, do you need me to pick up anything on the way home? Active service. And she's like, oh, this guy cares about me. This guy loves me. He does things for me. Bringing something home for her, doing something for her, constantly thinking about how I can have an active service. Final point is, there might be a primary love language and there might be a secondary love language, which again is, might be the equivalent of worth 10 points. So again, work out primary love language and you might work out the second love language as well. So focusing on the primary, you might push the secondary love language as well to increase the love in this love tank. So there you go. I hope you got a lot out of this. Again, if you haven't read the book, 5 Love Languages, do it. If you're in a relationship, I strongly encourage you to check it out. So again, if you've got any questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. Have a fantastic, awesome, gorgeous day. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Bali. I'm here at the practice. YTT starts. It's already started. It actually started yesterday. They're on a silent retreat. I find it hard to be silent for like 2 days, so here I am talking away, and I'm going to shut the hell up right now. Have a fantastic day and take care.